Welcome to Michael's Record Collection. I'm very excited to have with me Welsh recording artist Chez Kane. Chez, thank you for your time today.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
So you have a new album coming out October 21st on Frontiers Records or Frontiers Music called Powerzone. This is your second studio album, and your first one was your self-titled album, just came out last year. Terrific album. And you must be very, very excited to get this one out and get it in people's hands.
Oh, yes, very, very excited. So obviously my debut album came out and then everything just happened so fast. And now here we are promoting the second album.
Yeah, it's record business is funny. You're now in that grind where it's record and then tour and then record then tour, I guess.
Yeah, well, I didn't get a chance to tour the first album because obviously the pandemic hit, so I was absolutely gutted. But with this new album now, I'm heading out on tour a week after it drops, so I'm very excited, as you can imagine.
Yes. So we're going to talk about Powerzone a little bit, but first I want to ask you what your first favorite record was.
My first favorite record. Okay, so when it comes to rock music, my first favorite record was Def Leppard's Greatest Hits, because I discovered Def Leppard when I was around 13 years old, and it kind of like opened up the whole world of rock to me, and I never looked back. So I ended up going out and getting their greatest hits because it was out at that time. So they were playing Pour Some Sugar on Me on the radio quite a lot to promote the album. So that's how I discovered Def Leppard.
Well, that's great. That's it explains a lot, I think, about your style of music, because that melodic hard rock is the genre that you've kind of found yourself in now, and you're getting a lot of help from Crazy Lixx's Danny Rexon, and so is that always been sort of the type of music that you've kind of gravitated to, is the melodic hard rock type stuff?
It's where it all began for me, really. So it always stems back to the 80s. I was a huge fan of Def Leppard. My dad loved Rainbow. One of my sisters was into Pat Benatar, so I discovered Pat Benatar through her.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other sister was like mad for Bon Jovi. I was then crazy for Def Leppard, so it was kind of in my household. Through the years then, me and my sisters, because my sisters sing as well, and I've been in a band with my sisters for a while, we started making music and we were in a band together. It wasn't quite this style of music. It was a bit more of the modern rock style. But when I got offered this opportunity from Danny Rexon to do this project, it just like took me right back to where it all began. And I knew it was for me, and it was something I just had to jump on because I was so passionate about it.
Now, you mentioned your sisters. You sing in Kane'd with your sisters. And which sister are you? Are you middle, younger, older?
I'm the baby.
You're the baby. Okay. Yeah. So tell me about your upbringing then. Are you from a musical family?
Yeah, so my dad's a singer. Then my sisters are obviously singers. I got jealous of them. I wanted to sing like them too. My grandparents were in bands back in the day. So yeah, very musical family.
Okay. And did you like take lessons at an early age, like piano or guitar or anything?
No, I didn't take any. Well, I remember having one or two piano lessons, but it never stuck with me. I was always like full on for singing. But when I was about 13 years old, I remember sitting down with my granddad one day and he showed me a few chords on the guitar. So ever since around that age, I've picked up the guitar here and there. I'm no expert, but I can play a bit of guitar.
That's good. So let's talk a little bit about Kane'd now. Kane''D. This is your group with your sisters. How did you guys get started? What made you guys think, hey, let's do this together? Because a lot of siblings don't get along.
Oh, we get on so well. They're my best friends, so that's a good thing. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've just always sung together. So my elder sister was the one who started singing first. Even though I was always singing the second I could talk. She was the one that started taking it seriously first, and then it kind of like went down the line, and then we decided, oh, let's sing together. So then we started harmonizing with each other. And then we would do some shows together as the three of us. And then when we got a bit older then, because we were into that style of music, a bit of rock, we kind of went in the direction of, why don't we put a band behind this? I think it would be a cool thing. So we did, and it just went from there, really.
Yeah. And how's that going for you guys? Are you working on another album? Are you still like is everybody kind of doing their own thing right now? What's the status?
Yeah, so we're all kind of doing our own thing right now. The band is still very much together. We see each other every day. Obviously, me and my sisters. I'm on the phone to them every day, telling them what's going on. But yeah, we're hoping to get back together and do some stuff later on down the line. It just so happens that other things have come up at the moment, so we're all kind of doing our own thing right here, right now.
Now, when you were in Kane'd, is that how Danny Rexon became aware of you, or how did that start? How did that partnership begin?
No, he discovered me from doing YouTube covers. So he was chatting with Frontiers, and he wanted to start producing music. And then he was looking for a singer for this project, and he came across one of my videos doing a cover of Edge of a Broken Heart by Vixen. And then he contacted me, and then the rest is history.
So this is from Crazy Lixx, which is also a really good band, and Frontiers is obviously the perfect album or perfect record label that's in this type of genre. And Danny doesn't just produce you, though. Danny does a lot more.
Oh yes, he is a very talented man.
Yes, he is. Now, tell me a little bit about the songwriting, because I don't have the credits for the new album, and what I was able to glean on Discogs was that Danny wrote the songs for the first album.
Yes, and it's continued in that way as well. So he's written all the songs on the second album also. He did ask me if I wanted to write some songs, and I did give it a go, but my style of writing is more like Kane'd, so it's a bit more modern rock. Mm-hmm. And he just writes this style of music so perfectly, I didn't want to touch it. So I said to him, look, you keep doing your thing, I'll keep doing my thing. It's working, we'll just keep it that way.
Yeah. So so you do like to write songs. You just for this particular project, you're sort of deferring to Danny's sort of expertise in this genre.
Yeah, so I've written quite a lot in the past. It's not something that I've always been like, it's not my go-to thing. I haven't always wanted to write music. We did end up writing music as Kane'd, and I did enjoy it, because obviously when you write your own music and you listen to it back, it's quite a nice feeling that you've made that. But it's also nice to change it up as well. So I'm absolutely enjoying singing what Danny's writing, because it's just different. So it's cool to change it up.
Now, is he just knocking it out of the park, or are there songs where you go, Danny, I don't know about this line right here, maybe we need to work on this one?
He's just knocking it out the park. I don't know why. I think there's only been I think there was 1 or 2 songs that he sent that I demoed that we didn't go with. So because he wants me to be just as happy as he is, because obviously they're songs I'm going to be performing for hopefully the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. And he wants me to be just as happy, but there were 2 songs that didn't make the album. I think it was 2. So yeah, we just agree on everything. But he just knocks it out the park.
Yeah, that makes it easier when you agree on everything. Now, he also, in addition to producing and mixing the new album, he plays all the instruments?
Yes, apart from saxophone, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You have Jesse Malloy on saxophone on Love Gone Wild. And I saw an interview with you recently where I guess some folks on YouTube had not liked the saxophone in the song here on the new album.
Oh well. I
mean, you have saxophone on your debut album, I think on the first track.
Yeah, on Better Than Love. And yeah, we've thought it'd be cool to put it in again. I love it, because I'm a massive fan of the Lost Boys movie. So the second the sax comes on in that, I'm like, yes, this is awesome. So as you can imagine, when I heard it on my album, I just got goosebumps. I was like, yes.
Now, how much like the Lost Boys saxophonist does Jesse look?
I'm not sure.
Not sure. Really, we're gonna avoid that question. All right, that makes sense. So I would like you to describe, for people that are not familiar with your music, what would you say your music sounds like? Like, what is somebody that's never heard your solo albums? what do you tell them?
So if you love the kind of 80s feel music that was real feel good back in the day, with your likes of Leppard, Vixen, Bon Jovi, Def Leppard, all rolled into a little ball, I think that's what it is.
Okay. Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good description. That's not far off what I had. My initial notes, I like to go back to my first notes, just that first initial impression. And what you say absolutely is correct. My initial note was that I said it sounded like kind of like somebody put Vixen and Survivor in a blender.
Oh, I'll take that. I like that.
The catchy choruses remind me of the type of choruses that Jim Peterick from Survivor writes. So I think that it fits. And you have a voice it's similar to Janet Gardner of Vixen, but less nasally, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Well, I think though I've just picked up influences from so many people over the years, and I think Danny has as well. So I feel like you can hear so many influences in both the way he works and my voice. So and it's just ended up being a good thing.
Yeah, it has been a good thing. So melodic rock with a little bit of an edge to it. You mentioned that Danny wrote the songs to the new album. What was your approach to the second album? What did you sort of learn from the first one, the two of you working together, that you were able to apply to this Powerzone album?
I feel like the difference between the first and the second album is that Danny and I know each other a bit better. We've become really good friends, and he's got a better understanding of my voice. I've got a better understanding on how he writes, because at the beginning we didn't know each other when we started the project. He just contacted me and we were going to see if it worked, and it did work. We clicked straight away and everything just happened really naturally. So I feel like we're growing. Our working relationship is growing in the right direction. It's like the first album was our baby and now it's growing up.
So going from a first album to a second album, did everything for both albums get recorded remotely? Like you worked in your studio, he worked in his studio?
Yes. So when we started doing the first album, the pandemic hit. So we didn't actually know if we were going to be able to get it done until that was all over, because the plan was that we were going to get together in the same room and do it together. But fortunately, I had the tools to be able to do it through the pandemic, which I'm really grateful for, because I think I would have driven myself insane if I had nothing to do while I was locked down. And then we were sending stuff back and forth to each other. So that's how the first album went down. And then when it came to the second album, we talked about it and we were like, do you know what? It worked out so well the first time round. Why change it? So we just went on with the same plan and did it the same way. Apart from, I recorded the second album in a barn. That's the only difference. So you might hear some birds tweeting somewhere.
Okay. So now walk me through how this worked. Does he send you a demo of the music and then you do the vocals and then he makes adjustments to the instrumentation? Is that kind of how it goes, or is there more to it than that?
So usually he'd send me some tracks over with his idea, and he'll have his vocal on there. And then I will do my take on it, and then we'll just bounce ideas back and forth then. And yeah, it just works that way.
Okay. You've got 4 songs that are already available on the streaming services that people can go and check out, including the first song on the album, which is I Just Want You. And obviously, we already mentioned that this is the sound very, very much reminds me of Vixen, and then the sound of this song does as well. And one thing I learned from watching the video for this song is that you can do the splits.
Yeah, I can.
Have you got some dance training then in you?
No, I haven't.
No?
I was always able to do the splits, and I was the kind of kid that liked to show off that I could do the splits as well. So I was like, hey, look at me, I can do the splits.
Yeah. Now, obviously, Frontiers really has a lot of belief in this project, because they're spending money to make videos for this, and that's not cheap. And one of the things I'm always curious about when it comes to making music videos is you just like bring your own clothes, or does somebody come in and give you clothes to wear?
So when it comes to doing the music videos, Frontier's just budgeted. They don't have any say on how we do the videos, how the look is or anything. So everything to do with the music videos in the creative side is just me and Danny. So we bounce ideas off each other. He asks me what I want to wear, I will say, and then we bounce the ideas back and forth. And then when we're both happy, we smash out the music videos. And then things tend to change as well. So we'll be doing the music video and we'll have a plan, and then things might change.
Now, I've heard you say in other interviews that you are inspired. A lot of what your style fashion wise for these videos has kind of been inspired by like Lita Ford and Cher from the 80s videos. Where does one go about finding some of these clothing items that you found for these is it difficult?
Well, I don't know. You just kind of look for what you kind of imagining and then hope that you can come across it. And sometimes you won't find it and then you adapt. So just online sites, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that it does strike me about these videos is that they do remind me of that, mid 80s video style. And it seems like the fun element of it is there, and certainly the sort of the fashion and I mean, you're in a video arcade for one of these, so there are a lot of callbacks to that sort of era of music. And is that done intentionally to tie the listener who's watching the video for the first time to that time period?
I guess so, but I feel like it's just that the vision that Danny and I have, it just goes to that. It's what we're trying to touch on. The music is the first part of it, and then the videos, they kind of come together. It just comes together that way, and then we're hoping that people will like it. But it always goes back to the music videos back then. I always thought they were so cool. I'm very highly inspired by it. I've always looked up to this image. These girls absolutely rock, and the fact that they can wear what they're wearing and look so empowering, and I just feel like my style is going that way, and I think it's always going to go that way because it's what I've been highly inspired by since I was younger. So, and I never thought that I could do it, and it's really cool that I can.
Okay. Which video was the most fun to make?
Ooh. All of them have been awesome for different reasons, but I think the things we do when we're young in love, when we actually got to the arcade, as you can imagine, we were all like big kids. We wanted the filming to be done ASAP so that we could just like hit all the pinball machines.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, I was on the AC/DC pinball machine and the Kiss pinball machine, and I did not want to leave.
What kind of music is Danny into?
He's a big Kiss fan. He's a big Iron Maiden fan. And he's obviously inspired by all the kinds of music that he's putting into mine. And you can hear what he's inspired by, I think, anyway.
Yeah. I will say that I think that Streets of Gold was a song that, for me, I could imagine that coming right off of a Bon Jovi album in 1984.
Yeah. I believe he likes Bon Jovi as well. Like, obviously, you'd have to ask him the question, but I know that he's mentioned bands like this. So, but I know he loves Kiss.
Yeah, that's good. I grew up in the Midwestern United States, which is in the mid 70s to late 70s. So that puts me squarely in the Kiss camp as well, because that was very big in that part of the country. And I think it was almost mandatory to have Kiss Destroyer in your collection at that time. So, and certainly the first Alive album. But yeah, I just wondered if you had when Danny and you got together for this project, Danny reaches out to you. How many conversations do you think you guys had before you really got down to actually putting music together?
Oh, so he contacted me. I remember it was December, just before the holidays, and we must have started recording the album through the pandemic. So was that March that the pandemic hit?
Yeah, 2020.
So yeah, so we were chatting back and forth because I didn't know, we were seeing how it was going first. So I sent some demos off, and then we chatted a little bit here and there. But it was between I think I didn't speak to him from December to late January, and then late January he was like, let's do this. And then when it came to doing it, the pandemic hit and we were like, is this going to happen? And then obviously we started work then throughout that. So it must have been late March. I think it was late March.
Okay. And how did that first conversation go? I mean, you must have been like, who is this guy?
It was strange because I was just sat watching Netflix, as you do, just chilling out. And then my phone goes off and I'm reading this message and I'm like, nah, no. And I remember reading it to my sister and I was like, this is really cool. This is cool, right? And then I got back to him and I was like, yes, I'm 100% up for this. And then it just went from there.
Yeah. So have the two of you ever been in the same room?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So you have actually since then met in person.
Yeah, but we made the first album without meeting each other. And then when it came to doing the first music video for the first album, which was Too Late for Love, that's when I went over to Sweden and met him for the first time. So it was kind of like surreal then that we'd worked together for a year and then doing the music videos it was crazy.
Mm-hmm. I will say that the video for I Just Want You is a pretty steamy one.
Oh yeah.
Was that Danny's vision for that, or was it the music video director's vision, or where did that come from?
Yeah, but he just like, he would tell me about the direction of the music video, seeing if I would like it, and then we kind of like bounce the ideas back and forth. So with I Just Want You, most of that was what he came up with, but I remember when we went out there, a lot of stuff was changed because things just end up changing with like whether it works in a certain area or not. But yeah, we're always both very happy with what we do. We wouldn't put it out otherwise.
Yeah. So this is going to come out on CD, digital, and it's going to be silver vinyl through your web shop and gold vinyl through the Frontiers web shop.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's a little too long for a single vinyl, so it's a double. It
is, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool. I can't believe it.
You've only been, well, I mean, like you said, your first album, your self-titled album came out last year. This is already your second album, two albums in 2 years. It's unusual for an artist that is putting their second album out to have these days to have such a small online footprint. There's not like a lot of biographical information on you out there. Your website's kind of like, you've got a shop and you've got a contact page and links to your socials and things like that. Is that intentional, or is that just stuff that you haven't gotten around to yet?
It's quite difficult for me because I do a lot of the stuff myself when it comes to my social media, setting up my tours, all the merchandise. It is literally all me. So there's only so much time I have on each one, but obviously I like to connect with people on social media as well. So the day goes by and then I haven't updated something, but I try and get around. I write a lot of lists and then I'm ticking them off as I go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it is quite a lot of work at the moment because I'm not in a position to be able to get people to help me yet. But hopefully that will happen one day.
If anybody out there is interested in creating a Wikipedia page for Chez, that would be great.
Yeah.
I'm sure she would appreciate that. Yes. So tell me about these songs. What was the first song that Danny sent you from the new album?
It was Powerzone. And I think that's the reason why we've ended up calling the album Powerzone, because the second I heard that song, it just hit me with so much excitement, because it's the kind of song that you would hear on a movie like Top Gun, which I'm gutted didn't happen, by the way. That would have been so cool. But yeah, it's just got that feel of excitement in it. And it's one of my favorite songs on the album.
Okay. You one of the ones that you have a video for, I think one of my favorites on the album is one that you have a video for, is Love Gone Wild. Where did the idea for the saxophone come from, Danny? Did you say, I got a song here that I think would be good for saxophone, or did that come in later?
I think because when we did the first album, we had a bit of saxophone on one of the songs on that, Better Than Love. I remember hearing that for the first time, again, instant goosebumps, because I love the sax. And I sent him a message and I was so excited about it. And I said, oh my God, that is insane. So he kind of said, he sent me Love Gone Wild and he's like, you're going to like this. And I was like, okay, why? And then I heard the saxophone and again, goosebumps. So I think he just did it because I was such a fan of having it in the first album.
Yeah. No, I did see your video with Danny where you were discussing that there were some well, I mean, go figure, there were negative YouTube comments about
how you're gonna get them.
yeah. I mean, that's where the worst people go to say the worst things, I think. But I guess a lot of people were not happy with the the suggestive way that everybody was dressed and that kind of thing. And I took a lot of insight from your response to that, which was, we're not setting the women's movement back. We're showing you how we're empowered to do what we want, dress how we want, sing how we want, make the kind of music we want. And that's really an important message to get out.
Yeah, 100%. I do feel like it should go that way. We want to dress the way we want to dress. The guys do it and no one says anything about it. So why can't we as well? I love like the guys getting up on stage and taking their top off. I think it's a great thing. You go for it, Yeah. So I don't see why it's a big problem, but there are still people out there that obviously feel that way. And I expect bad comments. I think anybody in this industry are going to get bad comments, and literally all I can say is, oh well. That's a nice way of putting it.
That's the right attitude. Oh well. Yeah, you wonder if Lost Boys had been a movie that was released on YouTube, would they be saying, now why did the beefy sax guy have to dress like that?
I know, it's crazy. It is crazy. I think everybody should be able to do what they want to do when they want to do it and just enjoy it. And if you don't like it, that's totally fine. Not everybody's going to like the same thing, and I'm totally okay with that. But some people just end up being a bit too nasty, but it's okay. They just want to be heard. Let them have their moment and move on.
Everybody's braver behind a keyboard, I think, than they are in person. And not as nice as they are in person. Politeness just goes right out the window. I don't know why it is that people think they can be, that they have to hold themselves to a certain standard when they're talking to somebody face to face. But once you're behind a computer screen, all bets are off.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah.
So you're going to go on some tour dates, according to your website. How did you put your band together for this, or are you still in the process of doing that?
No, I have my band together. So I've got some guys over here in the UK that are backing me for my UK tour and some of the dates that I have coming up. Mm-hmm. Obviously, when I go further afield, if I come out to the US, I'm going to probably have to look at setting up maybe some other guys out there, because it's so difficult to get to places these days. Mm-hmm. And I want to be able to tour my music. But yeah, I've got a lineup of guys at the moment and they're fantastic. And I can't wait to get on the road with them.
Is it anybody we know?
So I have Harry Elliott. He's been in Kane'd and he's now in my band, but he's also just been picked up by Taiketo. So he's going to be playing for Taiketo from next year as well. And then I have some other guys. I got James Reddy, Nico Martin, and Jay Haynes.
Okay. I believe Harry played drums in one of your videos, maybe?
Yes, he did. Yeah. So he's a multi-talented dude as well.
Yeah. Well, it's good. I'm glad you're going to get out and do some live shows and sell some merch and that kind of thing. That's always exciting. And I know that it is insanely difficult and expensive to get work permits to come over here for artists. I don't understand why they make it so hard. It's like they used 9/11 as an excuse to stick it to people that really just want to come over here and make a living. And it's not just you. I mean, one of my favorite bands has been through the years has been Marillion. They never come here because of that. But I know you're going to come over and do a cruise. You're doing what, the Monsters of Rock cruise?
I am, yes. I'm so excited about that. I can't wait. So at the end of April, I'm heading on to the Monsters of Rock cruise. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I am.
So what is better for you? playing on the Monsters of Rock cruise or getting to see and meet all the other musicians that are going to be on the Monsters of Rock cruise?
I feel like they're both in the exact same category. I feel like I'm just going to be looking around thinking, oh my God, I'm playing a cruise with all of these people. But yeah, it's going to be amazing experience, I think. And I'm very, very excited. I still have to pinch myself that my name's on that poster. Like,
Got to
really?
get that framed. Got to get that one framed.
I know.
Shez, what is the musical climate like in the UK for this style of music, for melodic hard rock music?
I think it's struggling a bit, which is really unfortunate because I feel like it's such an uplifting kind of style of music, and I think a lot of people need that, especially since the pandemic happened. But I do feel like it is making some sort of comeback because you have shows like on Netflix, like Cobra Kai, Stranger Things, and they're trying to do the same thing. So you are finding that a younger generation is starting to get into the style of music a bit more. But I do feel like it's struggling and I'm gutted about it. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to try and help it come back to the forefront.
Yeah.
And hopefully more people will start doing it because it's a fantastic style of music.
It really is. And I think that for every time I hear somebody tell me that rock and roll is dead, I just laugh because then I've already got 2 or 3 interviews lined up with people that are making brand new rock and roll that is absolutely fantastic. So like, well, if it's not really dead, you're just too lazy to go look for it because like it's not easy to find now. You just have to go and work a little bit.
I think that's exactly what it is. It's not dead. There are people out there making this music. It's just that the commercial side of music is just, this music is just looked over when it comes to TV, radio. There are some great radio stations that are playing it, but they're still not mainstream because people don't, I just don't get it. It's just overlooked and it needs to change.
Yeah. So how many dates are you actually playing? I don't know. I'm sorry if you mentioned it. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, so I'm playing a 10-day UK tour, and then I'm going to Belgium for a festival. I'm doing some festivals in Norway, Sweden, and I've got some shows in Spain early next year. And then I got the Monsters of Rock cruise. Yeah.
That's great. How has the Brexit thing kind of affected your ability to go out and tour mainland Europe?
I think a mixture of that and the pandemic has had a massive impact on touring. It's getting hard. I'm finding it quite stressful to set up the tour that I'm doing. I'm gonna do it. There's no way I'm stopping myself from doing it. I'm finding like my stress levels are up and down. But I just need to get on the road and do it. I might end up being at a loss at the end of it. There's hardly any money in it. But it's what I love doing and I just need to get out there and do it.
Yeah.
But I do think there is definitely some sort of impact because not many bands are able to do it anymore.
Like I always tell my listeners, my viewers, buy the music from the artist and buy merchandise because that's how you guys get more of this music. You support the artist and then the artist can keep making music and they don't have to go flip hamburgers or do something else to make a living.
I have a side job, you know.
I believe it.
Part-time.
Yes, and wouldn't it be great if you just could devote more time to making music?
100%.
How much time do you anticipate spending on rehearsing for these shows?
I've just started a couple of days ago. I've been so busy recently, I haven't had time. But the last 2 days I've been singing the shows, the show through. And yeah, I should be ready to go then, hopefully, as long as I don't get ill or anything. Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
that
safe.
time of year where the bugs are going around.
Exactly. All right. Well, when somebody buys Powerzone, maybe they buy the CD and they stick it in the player, turn off the lights, they turn up the music as loud as they can, and they listen to it start to finish. What do you want that listener to take away from that experience?
I just want them to come away feeling happy and just to let your hair down and enjoy the music. This music is so overlooked and I feel like just enjoy it and shout out about it because we need more of this music in our lives because there's a lot of depressing stuff going on and I feel like this music will hopefully lift people's spirits.
Amen. Where's the best place for people to pick this up where it benefits you the most?
So I have a limited run of CD and vinyl going from my shop. And then Frontiers have the CD and vinyl from their shop as well. So my shop.
It's just is that just cheskane.co.uk?
So my website is cheskane.com, and you can find all my social media and my shop from there as well.
Okay, great. I can never remember. Some of the UK bands use com and some use co.uk, and it's very confusing.
I know, yeah.
And yeah, so you can follow Chez on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all of that stuff.
I'm trying to get used to TikTok. I'm getting there a little bit.
I'm a little afraid of TikTok.
I am as well. I'm finding it difficult, but I'm trying to get into it.
Yeah. There's not enough, they're not long enough because I get into the music and then it's over.
They've changed that now. You can actually have longer videos.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'll have to revisit. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when Twitter expanded the character limit.
Yeah, I've never got into Twitter. I've tried 3 times. I got it, used it, and then stopped using it. Used it, stopped using it. I still can't get into it. I just don't know why. I just don't know why.
I don't know. Maybe you're better off. Maybe we should all stop using it.
I love Facebook. I love Instagram. I'm getting into TikTok. I do my bits on YouTube. I think that's enough because there's just so many platforms now.
Yeah. Chez Kane, it has been an absolute joy talking to you. It's been great getting to know this new album, Powerzone. I can't wait till it drops on October 21st on Frontiers Music. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck with it. And thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you so much. And I really appreciate all the support and the help to spread the word. It really means a lot. Thank you.